Fuck Control Warrior says, Reynad, I donated $3 yesterday or the day before asking about Secret Paladin. Your suggestion about Freeze Mage worked like a charm, and I climbed to rank 12 with ease. This morning I played against 10 Control Warriors. What the fuck happened to the meta? How do I win? If you go on too much of a win streak with any specific archetype, Blizzard defines your deck as its own like object, and it tries to skew your matchups into 50-50. For example, if you go on a really long win streak with some kind of deck, like not all matchups are random. And this is purely like an Illuminati theory that I've had for a long time. But a lot of other pros feel like matchmaking is not random as well. The idea is that the game, the theory that I have at least, is that the game tries to skew you towards a 50% win rate. So it'll like, when I submit a deck, like when I change 2 cards or more and then I hit the done button, this is now a deck in the game that's being kept track of. And it tracks the win percentage of the deck. Like, I think the way it works is it tracks the win percentage of each card against each other card. So for example, Ice Block has a very low win percentage against Armorsmith because, you know, Freeze Mage always loses to Control Warrior. So in theory, if you go on too big of a win streak, it'll try queuing you into Armorsmith decks, I think is how it works. And I've tested that theory before. Like, I've put a random Wolf Rider into Control Warrior just to get mirror matches and stuff. But yeah, there's not really any way to prove it. But it's definitely weird because it works the opposite way too. If you go on too big of a losing streak, if you lose like 4 or 5 games in a row, the game starts giving you good matchups. Like if you're playing Control Warrior and you've lost like 4 or 5 in a row, you start getting paired against Freeze Mage. But again, that might just be paranoia, and I'm not actually sure if that's happening or not. But
howdy.
That's right. Open your eyes, America. It's more like the people you're playing against are purposely queuing counters. I mean, yeah, for streamers, but it happens to people who aren't streaming too. It happens to me off stream, which is why I think it's like programmed in the game for everybody. If you go on a losing streak, you get good matchups. If you go on a winning streak, you get bad matchups. It's just the metagame now is in this weird spot where it's a bunch of 60-40 matchups, so it doesn't really matter. It's very fucking random right now. But I mean, there was a time when all the matchups were like 80-20 in the early days of Hearthstone. Yeah, the only reason I think it might work that way is because I know Blizzard keeps track of what cards, like the win percentage of each card and the win percentage of each class, the win percentage on coin and without coin. Like, they have access to all those statistics. And they're building an API around it too, so it's easier for everybody, including them, to access it. How does that account for new expansions? I mean, new expansions don't change anything. You still just... Hold on, do I play this? Yeah, I do. You still just count the win percentage that each card has against other cards, you know? The reason I think that they do it on a card-per-card basis is because, like, how do you define a deck? You know, what if I change 2 cards in my deck and it changes all my matchups? It's like, is that the same deck? Does it have the same stats as the other, like the old deck I was playing? I don't know. So, like, if I were to program it myself, I would do it card by card. Like, Kazan Mystic would have an insane win percentage against, like, Mad Scientist, you know? That's how I would do it, but that's just me.